On this episode of Chase Classic Motors, it's the hunt for red old Mopar as we welcome a nuclear-class titan of the swinging 60s in the form of this 1968 Chrysler 300 convertible. The owner stated it's vibrating at freeway speed, so Eric is back from a high-speed test run.
Frequency's too high. It does feel like a driveline vibration to me. So, I'm going to get it up in the air and check it out. The most likely thing, as he said, is a universal joint. Who knows? We could find something weird wrong with it, like the drive shaft is out of balance too. But I won't know until I check it out.
Gotcha. But it's definitely not a wheel.
No, it does not feel like a wheel and tire vibration to me. The frequency's too high. It's happening too fast.
Well, if it's on the drive line, I'm sure you'll find it.
Yep.
Because if you're driving one of these big, bad, luxurious C-bodies, you want a nice, smooth ride. That's the only way to sail down the road in one of these cars.
I've heard two schools of thought on that with convertibles. I've heard people say, oh, you have to open the doors, or I've heard people say, oh, you should never open the doors. On a unibody car, I think maybe it's best to open the doors.
This is one fine looking machine. Let's look underneath.
Solid. You know, there is the teensiest bit of play in there. And that's all it takes.
Just be mindful, this exhaust is very hot. You just ran it up and down Interstate 94.
Yeah.
But there's only one way to test a driveline vibration like that, I take it.
Well, yeah, and I mean, you absolutely want to feel what the customer's feeling. Otherwise, you're just shooting in the dark, you know? And you don't know for sure if you fixed it before, because you have to feel what they're feeling and then fix it and then make sure it's gone afterwards. Otherwise, like I say, you're shooting in the dark.
And this customer's number one complaint was,
You know what?
it just doesn't feel right going down the road.
Yeah, he was complaining of a vibration at 60. Now, the speedometer's off. I got it up to where it said 80, but I'm pretty sure I was doing 60 because there were cars still passing me. Most of the cars on the road were passing me at that point. Not fast, but passing me. So I figure, okay, that's probably about 60, and that's where I felt it. But this U-joint here is also off-center. It's not, I think the C-clips that hold it in place are gone. See the gap in here, in that cap, how deep it is in there?
Yeah.
We don't have that on the other side. It's flush over here. That alone could be his vibration problem. Just the fact that the drive shaft isn't centered. So, gosh, I don't, you know, I used to keep clips like that around because a lot of times, you know, you buy a U-joint and you either don't use all the clips or the ones that came off the old U-joint are still good. I don't have any. I hate to buy a U-joint just to get the clips, but maybe that's what we're gonna do. And if I put the clips, I think that's what's missing here is the clips are missing and it's just not centered. So I guess I'll get a U-joint coming and I'll put the little clips in.
Of course, I was going to say, you say you're doing 60, but it says you're doing 80 and everybody's flying past you. That's not uncommon here in Detroit.
Yeah. No,
I-94 is almost as bad as 696. Most people think it's a local racetrack.
Yeah, who knows? Maybe I was doing 80. I don't think, it didn't feel like it.
Well, a car like this, that wouldn't surprise me. Big and soft and just elegant. Riding down the road like a classic ocean liner. But it sounds like you're hot on the trail of what's causing this unusual vibration in this 68 Chrysler 300.
There's a teeniest bit of play in this U-joint here. So either one of those problems, that being off center or this having a little play in it, could be causing this problem. So I think maybe what I'm gonna do is replace this U-joint and take some of the clips from this one and put them in there to get that centered. And I bet you that takes care of the problem.
Sounds like a plan to me.
All right, let me wash my hands and give the parts store a call.
Neatness counts.
No, I just don't want to get greasy fingerprints all over my phone.
Or on the customer's car.
No.
I'm not sure how many times a day I end up washing my hands here at the shop, but it's more than I do at the house, that's for sure.
Yeah. Hard to keep clean here.
But we certainly are staying busy.
Uh-huh.
It's been a good day today.
That's a 67, isn't it?
68.
68. Okay.
Well, Eric, the parts store had some good news for us.
Yeah, they got the universal joint in stock, which, I mean, doesn't surprise me a heck of a lot. Universal joints are one of those parts that one joint fits a whole bunch of different cars. I always try to order the parts I need as fast as possible, because with this old stuff we're working on, they usually don't have it in stock. But that's usually stuff like, you know, carburetor repair kits and things like that. But things like universal joints and, you know, wheel bearings, a lot of that fits a lot of different vehicles. So sometimes parts like that, they'll have them in stock. You know, there's a decent chance the universal joints for a 68 Chrysler 300 also fit a 2008 GMC Sierra or something. So I don't know if they do or not. I'm just saying there's a lot of cross-pollination with, you know, universal joints and front wheel bearings. So sometimes they got stuff like that in stock.
And this driveline technology for this rear-wheel drive full-size probably stayed the same for decades.
Pretty much.
That's why they call it universal.
Yeah. So, yeah, but they do have it in stock. So I'm going to go get it and we'll get started. And hopefully, maybe with a little bit of luck, there'll still be daylight out and I can take this car for another test drive tonight and the vibration will be gone.
Fantastic. Good luck.
Yep.
We'll see you when you get back.
Yep. I don't know if that's a leak or not. It looks suspiciously like a leak.
This customer reported there was also a gas smell in this car when the tank was full.
I mean, this here kind of looks to me like it could have been fuel running down and you know, basically melting this coating off, this undercoating. So if that's his problem, then unfortunately it probably just needs a gas tank, which, believe it or not, I think you can still get for these cars from, you know, a simple place like Rock Auto. The problem is I don't think we'll have it in time, because this car's supposed to go Friday.
Friday night if possible. I know he wants to take it to a car show on Saturday morning, so that only gives us a few more days to wrench on it and see if we can get it out the door in time for him.
Darn it. Well, when I go to O'Reilly's and get the U-joint, I'll ask them if they can get a gas tank for it.
Right.
Hopefully they can get it faster than Rock Auto.
And
or I could maybe order it from Rock Auto and pay a fortune for shipping and get it faster.
And make sure you get yourself an oil filter too.
Yep. Yeah, I will. Yeah, thanks for the reminder.
I know you were saying that the oil filters on these Mopars fit a lot of different motors.
Yeah, Chrysler was good about that. Same part number oil filter fits the big blocks and the small blocks and the slant 6 and my 4-liter Jeep and like the 3.5 liter V6 and all kinds of stuff. So it wasn't until fairly recently that they started making, you know, different filters for everything. But yeah, I'm gonna go get the universal joint.
All right, we'll see you when you get back. Good luck.
So O'Reilly's can't get the gas tank for that car any faster than we can. So I literally ordered it from Rock Auto Parts while I was still in their parking lot. Fortunately, it looks like we're ordering it just in time. It's supposed to arrive Thursday afternoon. And I didn't even have to pay a boatload for shipping to have it any faster. So as long as it arrives when they say it does, we'll be okay. And of course, I just pulled into the parking lot and I saw that Cutlass there, and I thought, darn it, why didn't I order a fan clutch at the same time for a 68 or a 71 Cutlass?
We got plenty of time for the Cutlass.
We do. It's just, I could have saved some money on shipping if I was lucky enough to get them both in the same place, but...
Yeah, that's what customers are for.
Yeah. I like to save money when I can.
Absolutely. We like saving our customers money.
If we can do it, yeah.
So you got a filter?
Yep, filter and a U-joint. So I'll just I'll put this on your desk and I guess I'll get started.
Great. What are the steps involved to swapping that U-joint, dropping that drive shaft?
Pull the drive shaft out, undo the straps at the back and pull it out. And then I'll probably use our big vise over there and, push it one way and take the cap off, push it the other way, take the other cap off, and then reverse it to put it back together.
All right. Well, I'm going to get out of your hair and let
Okay.
you get back to doing what you do best.
Okay.
And maybe when I come back, we'll turn the camera back on and see how everything fared out.
Yeah, I'm kind of thinking this probably isn't going to be done while there's still daylight out. It's already 8:15. So hopefully the weather's good tomorrow and I'll be test driving it tomorrow.
Should be. Great. Well, good luck, Eric.
All right.
We'll catch up with you again tomorrow.
Yep.
Till then, we'll sign off. Let him get back to this 1968 Chrysler 300 convertible, 440 TNT. Wow, Eric, that's a pretty big interior.
Yeah, get lost in here.
It looks like you're making it bigger.
Yeah, this customer wanted the seat extended, so he bought these a kit. I think it's from year one, to move the seat back a couple inches. So I got the kit installed, and I'm just trying to put the seat back in the car. There we go. All right. Studs are through the floor. Now I just gotta get the car up in the air and put the nuts back on.
And you also did a little wiring too, I guess.
Yeah, one of the customer's complaints was that the courtesy lights only came on if the key was in the ignition and on. Someone did a little bit of wiring on this car. For some weird reason, they had the courtesy lights hooked up to key on power. So I literally just put them to constant power. And now they work like they should.
Well, that's going to be easier getting out, in and out at night.
Yeah, that'll make them happy.
So what's next? What's next after the seats?
This car's getting a new gas tank, and I still got to do an oil change, and that's it. It came in also for a vibration, which I already fixed. The straps holding the rear U-joint to the rear axle, the bolts were a little bit loose, and just from the axle spinning, it went off center. And so I recentered it. I put clips on the caps, which, they don't need to hold them in, but it helps to center them a little bit. And I put just a dab of Loctite on the bolts for the straps so it won't happen again. I'm sure whoever did it before, because this car does not have the original U-joints in it, they just didn't put any Loctite on those bolts. And I've seen too many drive shafts fall out after people replace the U-joints. So I'm not a big fan of Loctite, but there are certain places where you need it, and that's a place where I strongly feel that you need it. I've just seen it come apart too many times. There's an awful lot of spinning that happens on a drive shaft, It turns approximately 3 times faster than the wheels are turning. So it's just important so it doesn't come apart.
Well, if this car's going back up in the air, maybe we can look at that again.
Yeah, if you want.
Let's check it out.
Okay.
Get that seat tightened back down again, eh?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've had seats out of cars before, and sometimes you get the studs through, and then you get the car up in the air, and the seat falls back, and then the studs are out of the holes, and then you have to, do it all over again. So while I've got the opportunity, I'm just gonna make sure that that doesn't happen. Actually, I should tighten that one for him. That's the passenger seat. That's not tight all the way. I didn't touch that, but it's not really right.
You never know what you're going to find underneath a 55-year-old Chrysler.
No, that's the thing. It's had a lot of opportunity for other people to work on it and for things to happen to it. And, you know.
What ended up happening with those interior lights? You said that was a bit of a spaghetti dinner.
Yeah, someone added some extra lights to it, and for whatever reason they hooked it up to key-on power. I don't know why they didn't even need to touch that part of the circuit, so why they would do that, I don't know. But I just hooked it up to constant power, and so now it works like it should. Use a pass-through wrench that I use a lot of times when I've got very, nuts going on to studs or long bolts. Because even a deep socket isn't going to get on a stud that long.
Are you familiar with these cars being referred to as a Y-frame?
A Y-frame? Mm-hmm. Honestly, no, I can't say I've ever heard that before. No.
I know you've talked about the X-frames, like on your Checker and the Imperials of this era. These cars were known for having remarkably strong frames and subframes, I tell you.
Yeah, well, I know that I know the Imperials are outlawed from most demolition derbies, if that's what you're referring to, because they were just so tough, and there's so much room between the front of the car and the radiator, you could beat the heck out of them and not kill them. That apply to the Imperials. I'll be honest with you, I didn't. Smashing cars on purpose is against my religion, so I don't know if that was extended to New Yorkers and Newports and all that stuff too, and I didn't really care. I figured I'm never going to take one of these to a demolition derby, and if I ever see someone else take one to a demo derby, I'm going to kill them, so I don't care if it's true or not.
Or at least write them a nasty letter. Did these convertible models have any strengthening added to them for rigidity?
Probably, but I couldn't point to it. Almost all convertibles do. I couldn't tell you where it's at, you know. Maybe these torque boxes, if I had to guess, are added to it. We know that your B-body police car has the Hemi torque boxes on it because it's a police car. At least I think we found out that they're the Hemi torque boxes.
We know it has a lot of structural welds in the literature that was available at that time.
Maybe they aren't the Hemi torque boxes, I don't know, but they've got extra torque boxes on them because it's a police car, because it's a K code.
Right.
I doubt that Chrysler made special torque boxes just for the police B-bodies. You know, something that a lot of people don't know about police package cars. You know, a lot of people think, oh, it's got special brakes, special radiator. That's not entirely true. It's just stuff from another vehicle, another application. It's something you can't get in the civilian version of that car, but you probably could get on the station wagon or a car with a towing package or a pickup truck or something like that. It's something from a heavier duty application put onto that car.
Maybe even the RT package.
Yeah.
Parts of the suspension.
Yeah. So like my beloved M-body police cars, the only things that are specific to a police package M-body that aren't on something else are a few extra brackets welded here and there, and they're very, very, very simple brackets. It's a piece of sheet metal someone cut out and welded on. Everything else came from something else, you know. The heavy-duty radiator, it's the same as a Ram pickup truck radiator, you know. So
one of those dirty little secrets when it comes to the mythology of the police cars and the special package cars that Chrysler and all the other automakers made is that they really weren't necessarily designed to be that radically special. They just found the biggest things they had in the production parts bin and put them on.
Well, yeah, and look at it from their point of view. How many police cars are they going to sell, and how big is their profit margin on it?
Very small.
They're only going to sell a few thousand, and they're going to give the department a deal because they're buying a fleet, so their profit margin is small. So why are they going to re-engineer stuff? They're not. They're going to take heavy-duty parts from the parts bin and throw it on the car. And, you know, if they go a little bit more with the welder and, you know, put on a flat extra piece of steel here and there, that's about all they're going to do.
Well, I don't think we're re-engineering this car, but what did you end up improving on the driveline?
Oh, so here's the rear, the drive shaft where it goes into the axle. These straps here, and the bolts that hold them in, were not as tight as they should be. Now, it was not like, oh my gosh, it's gonna fall out and kill somebody loose, but it was loose enough that the U-joint had kind of gone off center.
Walked its way back off?
Yeah, and so at, you know, 60 miles an hour, you could feel a high frequency vibration, not like a wheel and tire vibration. It was a higher frequency than that. So, and that's what it was. So, I put clips on the U-joint. It doesn't need them to hold it in. You usually put them to hold it into like this other yoke on the drive shaft to stop it from walking out there. But it does kind of help to center them when you put the straps on. And I put the straps on with a little bit of Loctite so that it doesn't happen again.
And you tightened it down, took it for a drive, and how was it?
Beautiful. It's like a new car.
Or at least like a full-size luxury Mopar.
Yeah, as good as this car ever did.
From 55 years ago. And these cars do have a nice ride, don't they?
Yep. Yeah, and that's...
They knew a thing about luxury even back in the 60s.
Yeah. Very soft spring.
And just floating down the road, top down, riding like $1 million. Great, well let's see what happens next. I see we got the fuel tank in.
Yeah, it came in, so I still have to replace it. So...
What's going to be involved in that? I think we may have shown it once before with our Brontosaurus police car up on the rack.
Unbolt the filler neck. Unbolt the straps. I'm just going to cut these hoses here. The wire for the sending unit, I'm sure will just come off. There, it's off already. And then he's got, you know, the ground strap for the sending unit is broken, as they all are, because it's just old and rusty. I've got a new strap that I'll put on. It's super simple. It literally just pushes on, snaps on, and that's it.
Cool. There's that new tank in the box ready to go. Okay, Eric, we'll let you get back to it.
Okay.
Good luck tonight, and we'll catch up with you when it's done.
Okay.
Well, looks like Eric's working on a new car project. What do we got here, Eric?
Oh, well, you know, we work on all kinds of police cars here, and we don't discriminate, even Soviet ones.
earth is that?
This is a toy. And they show up on eBay and Etsy every once in a while, and I always thought they were kind of cool. But they usually go for a little bit more money than I was willing to spend. But this one showed up on eBay, I don't know, a couple weeks ago. And it was already owned by someone here in the States, so the shipping wasn't that much. And it was in pretty good shape. And he had a fairly low buy it now price. And I thought, you know what, for that price, I'll take it. So I got the battery in it. Let's see it go. Let's see. Oh, that's reverse. That's forward.
Well, what fun.
Yeah, pretty cool, isn't it?
That's fantastic. What a great retro toy. So you know what it looks like to me? Looks a little like a C-body. And that's very fitting, because what have we got back on the left?
A C-body.
We're still
and
working
this is
on
about
that.
the right vintage, isn't it? I guess that's got the profile of like a 67 or so C-body.
And here we are, back with the 1968 Chrysler 300. When we last left off, you were putting the new fuel tank in this car.
Yeah, if you remember, the customer's complaint was when he filled the tank, it would leak gas. Long story short, we found out that the old tank was rotted out on the top. But it wasn't any trouble at all to get the correct tank for it. We got it online somewhere, and here it is.
It looks good. Well, now with that tank sorted out and the driveline issue sorted out and the seats extended back for the customer's comfort, I think this car is just about ready for a test drive, just like your little Russian police car.
Yep. Well, let's do it then.
Okay. Well, looks good. I can't wait to take this thing for a spin.
Yeah.
Well, there you are in the big red Mopar. You know, Eric, in keeping with that Russian theme, I think it's only fitting that we're calling this episode The Hunt for Old Red Mopar.
Yeah, I guess so.
Just like the Sean Connery action film classic, The Hunt for Red October.
You know, I keep seeing there are more and more old Soviet cars coming to the United States, it seems. I've got a couple friends on Facebook that have Trabants. Well, that's not exactly Soviet, but it's communist. And I've been at car shows lately, and there are Ladas showing up. And I think a ZIL, Russian limousine, actually won its class at the Greenwich Concours or something last year, the year before. I think. I could be wrong about that. I'll have to check.
Well, let's show the Russians what a little prime American muscle
Yeah,
sounds
let's
like.
show them what a real car looks like. Oh, I forgot.
Well, this red old Mopar sure is sounding fine, Eric.
Yeah, it sounds okay. I don't smell any gas. I think that, if I remember correctly, that was one of his other complaints. I think if it was more than 3/4 of a tank full, I think he'd park it in his garage. And the next morning, the garage would smell like gas. And it's been in our shop now actually for a couple of days. With this tank in it, it hasn't stunk up the place. So brakes are pretty touchy, but in my experience, they always are on these Mopars, especially four-wheel drum. That seems to get better as you drive it.
And there's nothing that beats the ride of a full-size C-body convertible.
Yeah, it's soft, isn't it?
Boy, it feels like a nuclear submarine going down the road.
It's even softer than that 79 Eldorado we had a couple months ago.
Look at the amount of open air space we've got back here. This is a unique driving experience.
Yep. You also remember that the drive shaft was slightly out of alignment, the U-joint had kind of fallen out of place.
Yes.
I took it on the expressway since then, and that vibration is gone. So that's good.
Very good. And you can really hear the rumble of that big 440.
Yeah, it's not loud, it's just pleasant and, you know, aggressive. A little bit aggressive sounding, but, you know, not annoyingly loud or anything like that. It still is a luxury car.
Oh, it sure is. Complete with a luxuriously large interior.
Yep.
We know we like our big cars here at Chase Classics.
I like all cars, really, but yeah.
And in this car,
The big ones are fun in a very special way.
and this car is special because you've got the whole world above your head. In addition to this mammoth interior.
That's the guy that owns that Camaro that shows up there every once in a while.
Well, I think this customer is going to be very happy to get this 300 back again.
I think so. This is one of his babies. He's got 3 Chrysler 300s, and I think
Yes, we're going to profile his 79
yeah.
T-top in another episode.
this one is one of his favorites. My favorite of his 3 cars is the 79 300 T-top, but I think, I don't know if this is his favorite or if the other one is his favorite.
We'll give folks a glimpse of that in a future episode. Definitely looking forward to sharing that with everyone because these luxury Chryslers, be they convertible or T-top, this was a very unique driving experience that I don't think a lot of people get to enjoy nowadays. I think it was more common in the 60s.
Yeah, when it was really, I guess in the 70s that sales of convertibles really started to drop off fast.
And where today can you find a convertible drop top like this that gives you the sort of size and utility? I don't think there's any full-size SUV convertibles out there.
Brand new one? No, nothing. To get a convertible at all, I think you have to get something European.
And something
Wow.
sporty.
Yeah, very expensive.
But with a car like this, you've got good, solid transportation for a reasonable price and all this air right above your head and all this luxury and all this comfort and all this power.
I haven't got on it, but I don't think this car has anything to prove.
And we might have a slight Russian theme going with this episode, but this car is truly all American.
Oh yeah. Well, and that's the crazy thing. You know, to have a car that even compares to this in the Soviet Union, you'd have to be, you know, a high up commie member. You know, normal people back then, I think they only averaged 1 car for every 20 families, you know, and here in the USA at the same time we had, you know, 1-2 cars per family. So,
And we had cars like this.
yeah, and a normal person have a car like this. If you had a car in the Soviet Union, you were happy to have a Lada, which is, you know, a Fiat basically.
And although this car was by no means considered cheap in its day, it was well within the means of your average Detroit factory worker.
Yep, exactly.
If they saved their pennies. And what a wonderful driving experience they would have. Something fun for the whole family. Well, that was fun, Eric. Thanks.
Yeah, I'm gonna move. I'm a little close on this side. I'm gonna move. I've said this before. It's a bit difficult to get the car centered on our lift because our lift isn't square to the walls of our shop. So sometimes it takes a try or two. All right, that's good enough for government work.
Well, I think we can call this one good. The hunt for Old Red Mopar is complete, and I think we'll be ready to let the customer know it's good to go back into the fleet.
He's gonna have fun with this, just in time for car show season.
Absolutely, and I've had fun with it too. Okay, Eric, thanks. We'll see you next time.
All righty.
And we'll pick this up again with another classic here at Chase Classic Motors.